Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I know people will join as I get going. I want to just do a quick market overview since this is my kind of my public update for anybody out there that's cares to listen. So I'll just kind of show you guys where I think the market's heading as people join. We're still waiting for this correction, this pullback to take place. I still don't think it's been has gone deep enough yet to consider this a wave four or a reset of a cycle. I would still consider it part of the existing cycle if we were to go higher from here. So I think we'll get definition potentially to the downside next week of what degree we're in and what we're looking at. Are we looking at something like this and we bounce back up only to have a bigger drop from here? And again, this would be more like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scenario, and then pullback, which could create a great buy-in opportunity to go long the indexes right around the 50% back. Or is it going to be a market accident? Something goes terribly wrong in Iran or something else, or he fires Jay. Now we have fire Jay Powell. Now is trending. The market leadership of the banking system may just punish Trump by doing that, sell off, and if just to teach him a lesson, you don't do that. Take our guy out. So I think we don't know what could cause this type of reaction, but this is still technically a valid count. I know a lot of people don't want to believe that that's a valid count, but it's still a valid count because you only have 3 down and 3 up. There is no impulse, and as in Elliott waves, you need 5 waves to define the trend, and that typically is the direction the market will continue, and we don't have that. As much as you wish it was that, and I know a lot of people are labeling something like this, it's just premature to get all this happy talk, right? There's a lot of happy talk that we're going to come up to these higher targets, but there's no guarantee yet. There's no certainty. It's just happy talk. Makes you feel good inside that you went long, probably up here when you shouldn't have. Most people, let's just face it, have chased the market here and are going to start to lose money on this pullback, and worse, lose a lot of money here. Very few were able to hold through this, and if they did, they still need to. Now they're thinking about, do I take profit now? And they probably will start taking profit, the people that bought down here. So I think market's got this pullback coming, and then what happens after that is kind of 50-50. I do think, whether we get this type of reaction or this type of reaction, the market does end up higher in the future because there's instruments out there that show that we are not finished selling off yet. The SMH is breaking to the upside. The XLI is breaking to the upside. Crypto needs another swing higher. There's other sectors that have a lot of good momentum behind them, in rated to the commodities and the cyclicals. Potentially needing another swing higher. There's a lot of stocks that need a 5th wave on the grand super cycle, like a Costco, for example. So there's a high likelihood the market, whatever happens in this erratic setup we have coming into July, mid-July here, should resolve higher though. I'm not looking for it's the end of the world and it's just going to go to zero. Not yet. That comes later, I think, and that probably will happen in a top-in pattern. Now, I can't rule out a straight down catastrophe, but it'll probably be some kind of top-in pattern that lasts to the back half of Trump's presidency, and then when he leaves office, that's when the can can't be kicked down the road anymore, and maybe it's something like this. You get like a 1-2, and then it kind of pulls back. And then and then by the time you're through to the 28-year time frame, then it's ready for the 3 of 3 to the downside, right? And something like that. And that's it. So this is probably just to give you just an idea and a flavor of where we are. This is probably some massive top-in process that's happening in the market over multiple years that's going to take place. Unfortunately, the easy money of the market for the last 15 years is probably over, but there's a lot of great trading opportunities, a lot of great trading. But I think if you're hoping for something like this, I doubt that's going to happen. I think you're going to get something more like this, and then that, and that is what I see in our future. But I still think there's this push higher across the market that needs to happen. Okay, but anyway, so shorter time frame. We were been seeing to all our people that subscribe to me, we're pulling back. We got 5 down. We have a rally. That rally faded. We broke the low, so we should see a little more downside. Ideally, we want to see 509, 500 Qs, SPY, 581, 576. Ideally, now if it just stops short here, then we're still in 5. It's just not deep enough. Okay, and then it's just going to keep, and then the 5 extends, and that's just the way it goes. So I think this is the setup. This is a setup, and despite a lot of people are like it's a big rally. Oh wait, no, never mind. Oh, it's a rally. Oh, never mind. It's obviously very corrective, and I do feel like the bears are reasserting control of the market here. And that's what's happening. That's what's going to happen. We need a pullback, but not this isn't the pullback we're looking for. If not, it's 5. It's still 5. And that means this would be a 1, 2 of 5. So we'll get 3 of 5. So it could actually come back up here. So it would extend as long as it can maintain divergence. And if it erases divergence, well then, the 3 extends. And we just have this massive, big 3-wave rally for the record books. A 3-wave rally can go as high as, just to give you guys an idea, and still be corrective all the way up. It could go all the way up to somewhere between 640 and 660 on the Q, on the SPY, and still be corrective. And still come all the way back down in a flash and be 4 as a massive flat correction. Okay, so I know. This is where we are with the market. So in this area, we just trade the setups that come to us. And so a lot of the setups are working. The ones that don't, we still usually get a reaction higher in our group, and then we get out of them once our stops are hit, and we rotate on. It's very rare that we don't get any reaction in our box. I always like to show these boxes to all our groups. A lot of times you get a reaction. It's just the market will decide how big of a reaction we get, and then the reaction generates the profit, and then you take some profit and put your stop at your either your entry or the where it turned, and that way you don't lose any money, or if you do, it's very minimal, and then you just buy it again later. A great example of this type of trading was in GUR, right? This GUR stock, and our elite members, it's something I had been watching and pointing out to them for a long time. So GUR was a great example of what I'm talking about. Okay, our elite members, we saw the 1-2-1-2 setup. I gave them this hey, if you're just going to trade this count, it's ready for a 3. We got the 3. No real setup, but I mentioned that. Then we got a pullback, a pullback. And the pullback came back in 3 waves, and here's our buy area, right? 1, 2, 3, and we got the reaction. So people could have took some profit here, and I hope you did, and then you put your stop right there, and then, okay, boom, we stop out. Damn, okay. Well, and then people get angry at Elliott Wave Sage, and that's the way, but I'm not the market maker, but hey, I got you guys a reaction, right, from this area. A profitable trade, if you used options, it'd be, you probably get 15-20% on that. If you don't use options, maybe you got 4 or 5%. But boy, you just got some profit, then you're stopped out. So what do? We look to buy it again, right? Buy it again. We don't give up on it, so we had to buy it again area right here. And you're like, okay, so we came up here, we didn't get a reaction, so we're still in this cycle, so we're just adding, and we're adding, and we're adding, we're like, oh man, we're gonna stop out again. And then we wake up and it's like, boom, explosion. And now we've erased divergence, and in fact, this has become another 1-2-1-2. So, and then our group would be looking for, oh man, I missed the move. I was scared to buy it. And sometimes I'm like, hey, you missed it. But if you look at this intraday pullback, you may have an opportunity to get back in on it. Even though you did miss this, you could still get a lot more upside. So that's how we trade on our group. And again, this was an example of the system in play. But a lot of people don't have a plan, and they won't understand how to do that, and then they get angry, and I can't help you guys in that situation. But these boxes typically get a reaction, and then sometimes I get a really nice surprise, like we had on Friday with GUR. And a race in divergence, which means we're probably going to new all-time highs in this stock. And the people that got these entries probably won't have to sell for a long time, and they may have had even investment opportunity entries they'll hold for years now. And that's how this system works. This is what our elite members are doing. I can't guarantee this type of reaction, but we have been seeing a lot of these big explosions lately. And again, if you were in this box and got the explosion, I'm always saying you should take some profit, because it could fade back down, right? I don't make the market either. I'm only like forecasting what I think could happen. If they do want to crush it back down and break this low, well, you'll be very sad that you have nothing to show for it. So anyway, guys, all right, let's go to your questions and see what you guys got. I'm sure when I answer your questions, we'll cover the other markets like crypto and stuff like that, and energy and stuff, and I'll go through that. Hive, I think Hive's like a crypto related stock. I'll just confirm that real quick. But I think Hive's crypto related, if I remember correctly. Hive here. Looks like we got a good setup here. You know, the sweet spot in a 5-wave move off the low is always like 157, right? That's the sweet spot. And why I call that is I've traded these things so long, the market, the algorithms, and the computers, for some reason, this is the area between the 4 and the 2 in a structure off the low. It always loves to go vertical off of those areas. So we keep that in mind. It's not a hard fast rule, but it's just an idea that if you're trying to fine tune your entry. Now right now it is in a buy area as we speak here. But it could obviously drift a little lower, right? But just like I showed you with GUR, you just don't know how it's going to meander around our box. We just hope one day it comes out, and it's likely to give you another swing higher, right? Given the 5 waves off the low. So you have a good setup right now here, but you also have a divergence erased. You have a reset of the 4-hour cycle. I mean, I can't give it to you. I mean, this is as good as it gets for if you want to buy it. Now, again, I'm not a market maker. I can't tell you it's gonna, explode higher on Monday or Tuesday, but it's probably due at any moment. But it could still drift a little lower. Looking at the count, looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, you're in some kind of 5, and that could be a 1, 2, a 5 and drift lower, or it could be finished. Right here, and Friday was the day to pull the trigger when many people were, I think, panicking a little bit with crypto on Friday. So that's where I think. Now, where do I think it reaches by the end of the year? Well, it's hard. Elliott Waves doesn't really do a good job with timing. Options wasn't around when they invented this thing, when the guy invented it, right? So they didn't care about timing. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but what I like to do is kind of look at the first leg and then look at this leg and see. So this leg took from January 3rd to right around July 17th. So you're looking at like a 6 months from peak to trough here, from trough to peak. So if you put this around, beginning of April, so that gives you May, June, July, August, September, October, end of October, right? That this Y could end. Right, and so if you look at it here, right, where could the Y end at $8, $9 by the end of October? But what's likely to happen here is a couple possibilities. Okay, so let's say you get here by the end of October. Let me draw this out, right, and then you're there. great, everyone's happy, right? Smiley face, everyone's happy and make money. But guess what? You have three waves and you probably get another three-wave pullback, right, of some kind. And then either you go higher again, right, or it fails and it goes and breaks the lows. And so you form a connector wave, right? This will become a connector wave. The problem with the connector wave, as you can see, this connector wave, before we started trending again, took from July 23 to March 25. It took over a year and a half. This connector wave will be at a bigger degree than even this would be, right? So it could be the end of the Bitcoin. Like this could be the end of the 4-year cycle in Bitcoin, right? And it may consolidate for years. And then by the time you get to the end of the year, you're back almost where you started. So I don't know. So I think if I look at this, I think the peak comes somewhere around October, end of September, between the end of September, mid-October. If I'm just looking at it from that point of view, and then there'll be some kind of pullback, and then that will define it. But I bet the pullback will last for quite a while. And my guess is when we're here, Bitcoin will be at whatever peak it's going to be trading at here. So I think this is what I'm looking for. So I don't know if that helps you, but that's all I can. That's the most likely path. Now, of course, there's one more possibility. The most bullish path is the 1-2, and we go into a 3 of 3, right? A 3 of 3 would just continue higher, right? It would just continue higher, and then if you were to just continue higher along this kind of trend line, by the time you get to the end of the year, you're looking at somewhere around the top of the box, like $11, $10. I would say $10 to be safe. So the most I think I can see it is around $10 by the end of the year. That would be a big crypto breakout that does not pull, which would defy the 4-year cycle like typically we see. We've never seen that before. But the more typical path would be we peak in September. It's more like October, early October, and then a consolidation of some kind for a long time until we. And then the next cycle is born, and then you get the real vertical action that everybody dreams about, and that's what you hope for. Okay. Anyway, thanks for that, Ronaldo. Energy. Let's take a look, guys, at energy real quick, and take a look at where we are with energy and in our forecast. All right. So energy did a kind of a 180. Right? And as a trader, you have to pivot when the data changes. You can't be married to one side of the market. When the data changes, you trade, and your trading has to change. Also, we trade the chart on its own and not what we wish it to be. And Indo is a great example of this, okay? So I'm showing you guys the price of oil and a couple things to point out. Like, okay, we hit this area, right? And we came back down and we're short in oil and we're okay. And then we had a situation, I believe it was this spike right here. Took our pivot out, okay? Took our pivot out. And then it went right back down. And that was where I'm like, I think once the pivot gets taken out, we need to close our short trades. All short trades are closed. Okay, this happened on May 20th. Okay, May 20th. So we were on the sidelines. Now some people refused to change. They were married to the idea it was going lower, and they can't. And then they got blown up. And our system, we don't get married. We trade like robots. The data changes, we change. I don't have any emotional attachment to a forecast. I don't have any. I'm not arrogant. I don't have a big ego. I'm a very humble person. And if I see that the data changes. We change. I change. But a lot of people that trade can't. And energy is a good example of what can happen when you don't do that. And then you miss out on all these gains. And Indo was a great way to trade this. And what I'm trying to say is Indo was the canary in the coal mine. I'm not sure why, but it was the first one. And we saw this on our live stream the day this happened, right around May 8th, May 7th, right when this high broke. So what happened here? What happened here? Okay, so we had a three-wave move. Here, a three-wave move, and then we saw this pivot break here, the higher high, because then you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move. I mean, basically 5 swings. And when you see something like that, it got me concerned, because if it was going to be corrective, this would have held, and it didn't. And then we pulled back down. So right when we saw that, we were like, wait a minute, this means it's going to go higher. That whatever pullback we get is a buy-in opportunity, and we're going to resolve higher. Okay, we're going to resolve higher. And the funny thing is, I'll put the W there, that's the right way to call it. This was an ABC. So what happened is, this was a warning sign that the energy trade was going to break down, to the short trade was going to break down. So I kept saying, but if you traded this chart on its own, you would have bought right around here off of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off of the flat. And you would have bought back here. So our elite members were watching, but we had the setup, right? We have this setup. Ethereum has the same setup, guys, by the way, right now. Ethereum does. That's why I think crypto still has a swing higher that hasn't happened. But here you are, you had this pullback, and then explosion higher. Most people in my group were long this and are still long. And they made a lot of money. I'll just say a lot of money. And they profited. And they're like, oh man, you must have been a fortune teller. You must know about Iran. Are you Iranian or something? Are you Israeli? I'm like, no, I'm none of those things. And honestly, I didn't know. But this was the clue. It was the only energy stock that broke to the upside. And so we follow it. So where are we now? Okay, so there's a couple ways to label this. If we label this as actually the bottom, and we're in a new bull market for the years to come, I shouldn't label it the way I have it. But I think I want to keep it corrective, because the big picture in energy, I'm not ready to kind of just say, oh, it's going to the moon on the long term. All right, because we still didn't, I think, complete the entire cycle, at least not yet. So short term, we should grind higher, right? We should get up to about 82, pull back dramatically again. So I guess the war will take heated up again, then cool off, and then really heat up, and then we come up to this $94, $95 area, okay? And that's going to be the big test for the market, right around this area here. And when this happens at some point, we'll get either a couple things are going to happen. Right, we're going to get either a dramatic pullback to find our final buy area, rug pull in energy. This would be Indo's in a corrective pattern. Everything in energy is in a corrective pattern right now. And you're trading a bounce, a big bounce. And in fact, this bounce can even come up to 104 in this big, massive connector, which would be like an A, B, C. So that's why we need an impulse to finish it out. So we just kind of drawing this impulse out. But when it finishes, wherever it finishes, whether it's at 92 or 104, the market will be susceptible for a massive rug pull down to finish what we weren't able to finish here. If that happens, Indo will break the lows in whatever you will lose all your money in it, and all the other stocks. Devon, all those things will go and break the lows. But if this doesn't happen, and there is always a possibility, right? I'm not here to be like, oh yeah, this is going to happen 100%. If this happened and we truncate it, and we're in a new cycle higher, well then energy will finish 5 waves, and then you'll get a pullback in 3, like this, a big one, and then I guess a Middle East calamity is going to happen, because then you'll have a massive, maybe the Straits of Hormuz get closed or whatever, something really goes wrong. And then we hit our final targets that we've had since the oil cycle began in October 2020, the oh shit target. If that's the case, then Indo and all the rest of energy has started its grand super cycle wave 3, and buying it, and even just market buying it on Friday, would have been a great thing to do, and you just hold for the long term. And this would probably peak somewhere around the end of 26, 27, based on this chart. So that says years of Middle East, commotion to come. That's what this says, or some massive inflation and with Middle East issues. So I don't know which chart we're going to get. But when we get here, a big decision. So this pullback could be the last best chance to go long, or it could be your best chance to dump it. So we don't. So we're gonna have to be fluid. So we're just gonna have to play it by ear. So the best way to trade it is to just watch oil, and as long as oil is grinding higher, your energy trade should grind higher. But I think we're gonna label them corrective for now. So I'm keeping them labeled corrective, and if this is corrective, we have this kind of count, and we need another wave higher in C. And there's a possibility, there's a couple possibilities. We're still in B here, all right? Looks like it could be 5 waves, but the most important is we broke the high again. And if you understand the fractal, remember the last fractal, we could pull back. So it could still pull back, and then if it pulls back, we can buy more. So again, looking at it, we have 3, a connector, and then 3, 3, but we made 5 up, we made a B, we made another 5. Now, is that finished? No, we need to extend more. So I think this is the most conservative count. I don't like to sell it. And I think you just kind of label it like this for now. And then when oil finishes its cycle, this finishes its cycle. So I think we label it something like this for now. Okay. I mean, let's go to the 4-hour cycle here. We're still trending higher. I wouldn't be surprised if it does dip a little more. And there is a possibility we may have to update this count to some kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even if that happens, this would still be a buy, and you would still get another cycle higher. So you're in the middle area. This is where traders who missed the move are trying to figure out what to do. If you were able to buy it down here, you just hold. There's no reason, of course, I always say take some profit, but then you just hold. You just hold and let the day traders battle it out. And at some point, this will come out. I'm looking for like $8 or higher. And then after that, we'll have to wait and see. All right, Devin, like I said, if we're in a bigger if we're in oil to the 200s, then Devin is a must buy. But like I mentioned, I think I mentioned Devin before, we need to watch this pivot taken out. It took it out. Okay, so no surprise, right, with oil breaking out. So we have to change our forecast. So the question is, did we truncate, right? Or are we still in X? We're going to say still X for now. But I can't rule out, like oil, that we finished the whole thing, right? Finished the whole cycle. We're still in X for now. If we can break 45.57, then the whole cycle's over. A major low. So either way, I like to buy it. I'll never give you recommendation to just chase something, but I wouldn't be too, dependent on your time horizon, too concerned about the entry, other than you should get more upside to 40, somewhere around the 44, 45, or if it's the major low, a whole new bull market is born up to 150, 56 final targets. So I guess we won't know, right? So I'm just gonna label it like in the 3-wave sequence we're in, and then you can decide how you want to trade it based on your personal goals and objectives, what you're trying to accomplish. It's something like this: 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So again, Friday could have been an absolute great day to buy the energy producers. It could have been. That little pullback. Because it looks like we have some kind of sequence up here. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like we're correcting the whole cycle here. There's your 3, 4, 5 right there. Looks like you're correcting that whole cycle. And you're in the buy area, and it turned. So I think you had a little bit of a dip buy on Friday in energy right there, and it looks like, see, it's already reacting higher. If I can move that from there. So my guess is something like this. Ultimately looking for somewhere around here, and then again, like I said, a big decision in the energy market will happen, and I just I'm not a fortune teller. I think it's 50-50. where we go from here, right? 50-50. But there would be it's going to be a pivotal moment in this area, and we won't know. We won't know. Hopefully, have a clearer picture and we'll have a better idea. But I think the best thing you can do is get your entry low enough so that way when this pullback happens, you have some time to think about it versus you chase it up at 45, it pulls back, and then you're losing money, and then you got to watch your money evaporate and possibly evaporate all the way back down to 16 again. So something like that. But I think this is the short-term view at the moment, something like this now. And like I said, keep an eye on that 44, 45 level. And then you break that, then more than likely the low's in, and it's off to the races in wave 3 of the Grand Super Cycle. All right. Let's go to Let Your Winners Ride. Gilead, I was looking at this the other day. I'm still looking for healthcare to make another pullback. It can extend still. This could be another 1-2 and just keep going on the Grand Super Cycle. But again, looking at the bigger picture, to me it looks like just like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Here you have your peak at 3, and then you have some divergences. Now you see you still have some peaks, and you see how you're kind of racing divergence as you're in the 3 of 5. Let's look at the monthly. You see your peak in 3. You're in 3 of 5. So I can't give you happy talk that, it's going to just keep going. I have to label what I see. And what I see is this is some kind of 3 of 5 here. And that means we need a 5. So it's going to make another high. It's going to make another high. It has to finish with some divergence, which we don't have in that 5th leg. And then after that is going to be a big moment for this company. And because you have a couple things, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have a 1 and you're in 2. Right? Now 2 can pull back more. 2 can pull back more. But it can end whenever, right? To me, that looks like a connector, so it looks like it's got to pull back a little more. And then it should finish up. But I can't rule out that it just erases divergence and it extends. And this becomes a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3, and then this 5 turns into a 3. So I like to not top tick. I would never short it. But buying it, you could try to buy it, right, on this pullback, but I just don't see a setup to buy it right now. I mean, that looks like your connector. So maybe we could look at something like this. Like 106, 105, somewhere around there. As a trade in this area, you should maybe hit a buy a setup somewhere around there, and then you can go higher. All right, AA. The steel and copper and metals, I think are overdue for a bigger pullback. Some of them are pulling back. Now, where are we on the bigger cycle here? What happened? Let me zoom out because we've looked at this before. All right, we were expecting another rug pull. Looks like we only got 3 up here, but that's okay. But that looks like that's probably finished. Our 3-way move. We had that reaction here, and then it failed. And only failed, it even broke that low. So it definitely set up downside. So we're in the Y. We're in the final push lower, which makes sense because I think this sector has a bigger kind of sell-off coming. For the time being, but when it finishes, and when this thing finishes, when this whole thing finishes, it should create really good upside potential. But the problem I'm seeing here is, let me look here real quick, is it can go a lot lower, and I'm worried. I mean, if you look at the chart, the technicals don't look good. We'll look at the divergences here. That's good. See how we erase divergence on the daily? Let's look at the weekly, and we're weekly. So that's a good sign. So that could mean we truncate it and Y's finished like that. It's possible. Now we want confirmation the whole cycle has ended. and we'll do that through the RSI on the, let's look at the monthly RSI. So we don't have that yet, but you kind of see it's ticking up. It's got an elbow up on the monthly. Once the monthly trend line breaks and it's about to tick up here, also you made a lower low in price and look a higher low here on the stochastic. Those are ingredients for a potential bottom. It's ingredients, but I think, again, I still think this sector needs a pullback, and this cycle. So you're going to pull back against this cycle, and then if it can hold this low, it could have it could form a bottom. So looking at it here, you've got like, we're going to have to go to the 45-minute and just see what this looks like. It looks like to me, you've got some kind of like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that's too short to be 3. So A, B, C, 1, 2, A, B, C, 3, 4, A, B, C, 5. That's it. So I think that's the label we'll go with. Okay, something like that. Like I said, this is again, I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt here, but something like this, and then you have something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again, I'm just trying to give it the benefit of the doubt here. Something like that. If it can do this, in this, then the low is in. If it can't do this and it just starts to collapse, then the odds are this is some kind of corrective pattern. And despite the divergence being erased, the Y will extend. This is a connector for this move down, and you'll get another series down, probably somewhere around $10. So I think if you're trading and you're a long term, you want to buy it, I think you're better off waiting to get more data. Here, I would wait to get more data and be patient. Like the indices, almost be patient, and then get something more like this. And then if you can get this type of look, then I would be more confident in buying it and saying the lows in here. So I think we'll know soon. I think we'll know soon. So maybe B bottoms at 27.47 here. And then you get one more push higher. And then you get that correction. Because this sector needs to correct more. But if I look at this, I can't make this 5 waves. The only way I can make it 5 waves is this type of chart. Okay. I mean personally, I would be waiting for more data. All right. To trade it, I wouldn't want to. I'd be very careful jumping in. KBR. What do these guys do? What sector is it in? Some kind of logistics, government, a whole bunch of stuffs. All right. We could take a look here. You see your peak. That's probably your 3. There's a cycle. You ended a cycle. This cycle's probably over. So that's probably a 3 and a 4 right there. Let's take a look, though. We'll label it just to see where we end up. Right? And there's your 3. So we're in a 4. It's in some kind of 4 wave. All right. The 4 could be done. It could have been a crash correction, but we'll go to like the 4 hour and see if we can see it. See the correction. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 5 waves there, and then there's your like shallow connector. So probably an A, B, C. And you see it hit the buy area and went vertical. It got the reaction. So this is probably the right label in. And now it's coming off the low, and now you have 3 backs. So probably again, Friday probably was an opportunity to go long if you're trading this. Looks like you have another 5 swings up. And now you had a nice 3-wave pullback. So this could be like a 1, or maybe like a 3, 4, 5. Maybe it's a flat. No, I don't think so. All right, let's see here. 1, 2. I think this is probably the best way to label it. And then A, B, C. One more low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it needs more. It needs like a little more downside to 47.80, 46.26. So it's likely to come out of this and then come out for one more high, or it extends and erases divergence, but something like that. Okay, GNRC. All right, so far as playing out, looks like we got that B wave, and we're in the B wave. The B wave does not look finished yet, though. This looks like 5 down, and then you're in the B wave, and so 1, 2, 3 connector, another high. So the B wave is likely to go higher still. It's likely to go higher. You're in some kind of double correction higher. Now, we could still be in X. It could come back down to 112, but I would be looking for a swing higher and then more downside. It could be over here. If it's done here, it would be one more swing higher. Early next week would be like a big move here. I mean, you'll be looking at something like 149. It could go to something like one. So it'd be a massive short squeeze. People trying to short it will get blown up. It could be in this setup like that. The other possibility is, like I said, it's still in X, comes down. This will lower the target a little bit and then does the same thing. So one or the other. I would just kind of label it like this for now. And then when that's finished, bigger picture, you could try to short it right at 149 if you want to, and try to short it because you have a lower low right there, the lower low. So it opens up an opportunity to short this B, try to short C and Y later. All right. You can't fire Powell. Yeah, I know they legally he can't, but I think he could pressure him to resign. He wasn't fired, but he resigns because I don't know. I think there's only so much Powell can probably do. Maybe he pushes him to resign or something. I think that's what he's trying to do right now. But I think he could increase the pressure on him to resign. But I think he's frustrated. He wants Powell to pump the market for him. give him some breathing room with Iran and all this, and he's just not doing it. And then he'd breathing room with his tariffs, and he just won't do it. So he's angry. Because remember, Trump wants to pump the markets. He's Trump 1.0 is back. Whether you like Trump or not, he's Trump 1.0 again. And that's why MAGA was having problems with him going in, because Trump 2.0 was a little different, right? He had a different approach to things. He was letting things break, and now he's stopped doing that, and that's why I think he's kind of like back and forth on a lot of his decisions and things, because it's like internally it's like it's like 1.0, 2.0, populist or more in the middle, populist more in the middle, and he's like, it has this internal and that's what it appears to me. I mean, maybe he's doing it intentionally. He's playing some 3D chess, 4D chess with his opponents, but I think from my point of view, I believe he wants to pressure Powell because he wants rates lower, because lower rates will pump the stock market, and believe me, if Powell starts lowering rates, the markets are going to surge higher. I mean, they will. But of course, so will inflation, right? So will all the commodity-related gold and silver, everything will go. It will be a massive melt-up. But it'll be fun. It'll be a fun time to make money again in the market, even more than it's been recently. All right, MLGO. All right, let me see what's going on with that one. MLGO. Micro Algo. Again, kind of coming to the very, very end here, but unfortunately, it just keeps extending lower. It's trying to just bleed out. So as you can see, you see how it extended and it's just extending. Now you're in this 4 here, right? You're in a 4. It looks like a triangle 4 to me, which could be good and bad. It could be bad because it could extend, but I think good because if it's a triangle, that's a clear sign that it's a wave 4. So I would be looking for that discount. You see, kind of very symmetrical too. A, B, C, D, E, depending on how you label it, something like that. And if it's a 5 and if it doesn't extend, you would see like 50 cents. We'll see if it happens. Now, if this can come out and take out 80 cents, then it's too big for a 4, and then the cycle's over, and then that's your sign. It's over. The bottom's in. Okay, so as long as you're below 80 cents. I still would expect more downside, but once you break 80 cents, I would want to get long any pullback if you can get a pullback. Likely it won't pull back, but I wouldn't be counting on it doing that. I mean, look at the candles you're seeing here. Is to me looks pretty likely like a 4. This is very similar like 3, and the look of it just has this look to me of it continuing to go extend lower, right? It just has this look. And that's what we have, something like that. I don't think so. Sign of a reversal would be if it could take this peak out, and I think once you get down here, if you can get down here with some bullish divergence to show the 5 on the 45-minute, and even on the 4-hour, it would be nice to see a little bit. Then against this peak. Bullish divergence on the 4-hour against this peak, then I think you can try to bottom fish this area. I think you can try to bottom fish it, and then just tuck it away in your piggy bank, and just wake up. You'll wake up one day and it'll be higher, just like we're doing like with Tilray, right? Tilray is one. I could care less. It's not gonna. Again, it could go bankrupt, right? That's the play, and this could go bankrupt too, out of the market, zero, lose That's always a risk. But chances are it won't, and it will have a relief rally, or will have a short. It will be, and if you're patient enough and wait, and you're smart enough, you'll get that. You'll get something like this, and that should happen somewhere around here. Okay. All right. Let's go to Xterra and take a look. Let me see if I can find this. Raiffeisen Bank. Looks like this one here, Roth. There it is. So bigger picture. Erase divergence, so truncated. So this is a low here of some kind. Right? And then there's your like 3 and 4 right there. Flat, well, sort of like a flat, close. More than likely, we're going to pull back this cycle. There's your 3, there's your 4, there's your 3 of 5, there's your 5 of 5. So my guess is you're probably going to come back down and lose this whole leg and come back down to $14 soon. And but that would be an incredible buy opportunity. Because right now the chart looks something like this with a massive extended 5th wave that looks like it's about to end at any moment or has ended. It's very, very dangerous to be going long right now with this count. If this happens, you know, like I said, you'll get a 3-wave pullback. Something like that. And then this will take time because you're correcting the cycle since March 2022. So the odds of it happening in a couple weeks is probably slim to none. This is going to take a lot. This is going to consolidate and either go sideways or you know, it's going to do something like this over a long period of time and then eventually come out. More than likely, given this pattern. The only way it doesn't come out of this is this some kind of big 3 waves, right? You have 3 and 3, right? This is the bullish interpretation of the chart, but there's the bearish interpretation is just as valid. You know, a W, an X, and oh my God, a Y, where we break this low. That would be obviously a catastrophe, right? If that path, again, that path is valid. It's not negated. I think it's not likely unless there's going to be a massive, like, you know, market collapse that we don't see yet. But if it were to happen, this will happen very quick. We'll be down here very, very rapidly, and then we'll form a connector and just drift lower. So I think we're going to see the nature of the move soon. But if you're long, I'd be very careful, honestly, here. Given the chart, I think this is the most bullish interpretation of the chart, and then you come out later, but I can't rule out the bearish case as well. You can't rule that out. So it is what it is. I don't like to chase it here. You'll have to let this play out and just see where we go. But I wouldn't be surprised if it pulls back down to 16 eventually in the next year or two. Okay, SWX, let's take a look at that. SWX on Software 1 is the final low in any strong upside target. Software 1, oh, it's on there, okay. I don't have SWX. Let me see what is changes SWX at. Let me see if it's just got a different symbol here. Swiss. All right, we'll go with this one then. All right. So this is a nice three-wave reaction with a bounce here. Let's just take a look where we are with it. It is in the buy area right there. And it turns. So yeah, I mean, now let's go to the monthly. So to me it looks like the low's in. You don't have 100% confirmation yet, but it's definitely that cycle's over. So this leg is finished to the downside, and it looks like it's in 3 and 3. So I would say, yeah, you have to stay above 420, or the bull market is never. It's in a technical, really bad spot technically. Okay, so something like that, and then it needs to come out, and that's what it's trying to do. Right? So far, so good. Very strong reaction. Higher. Erase divergence there. Reset the cycle a little bit. Probably making a fifth wave, actually, looking at that RSI. So it's probably something like this. Right? And then you'll have a big pullback. But that'd be an opportunity to go long if you missed a move. Something like that. I think the final low is in, yes. Any strong upside targets for the next 3 years? Since the correction, since we're just coming out of the bottom, it's hard to say. Sometimes stocks make a lot of 1-2s off of major lows, like they'll make a 1-2, right? And then it will make like another 1-2, do stuff like that and see. It could take time, right? And then it comes out. Other stocks just go vertical. We don't know. So I can't say where we'll be in 3 years. There is definitely not enough data to let us know that. There's just not. We just have no way of knowing how this will behave. I mean, if you look at the first wave, it kind of had this type of trajectory. So 3 years from now, I mean this would probably be the most optimistic case, right? That'd be just breaking the highs. So maybe in 3 years you're about to break this $26 high. Most optimistic. I think that's the most optimistic situation based on the personality, but also, as you know, wave 3s are more powerful than the wave 1s, right? So if wave 1, so the look could be more aggressive to the upside because it's a wave 3. Anyway, and you see that's a pretty a lot of people are panic buying here. Panic buying this. May not get this pullback. May not get it. All right, Hypecoin. Let's take a look at this. I guess we'll go off of KuCoin here. Oh, it looks like we finished that up right there. Something like that, right? And we're pulling back. So good thing is we made a higher high. Bad thing is you have 5 up now, which means you're going to have a correction, which is what you're in. And these corrections with these altcoins, they can go all the way back down to where they started. So there's no way to know. Now, typically it tags the wave 4 area, so it could see $28, $29. But on the shorter time frame, I don't even see a connector yet, right? There's not even a connector. So what I would recommend is, as long as you're below 45.73, expect more downside. You're gonna see something. You're gonna see something like that. So when you get this connector, then you can project the target of where you want to go long again. But I think you're gonna get something like this. My guess is it's ready to form a connector at any moment here with this chart. Although That's a lot of divergence. So it's probably forming a wave 3 of A. So it's probably got a little, it's probably doing something like this. So let me take, I may have to take that back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, there's a possibility that's the connector. And that would be in 3. Yeah, why don't we do that? I think looking at the RSI, I think that gives us a better idea of what to expect. So that would, if I was trying to trade it and someone, you know, forced me to trade this and I had no choice, I would be waiting to buy it at 27.25 in this area here, somewhere in this box. And then either you get lucky and it goes into a wave 3, which it could because that would be deep enough, or what's likely to happen is you get a bounce and then the bounce fails. So I think we'll go with this kind of chart for now, something like this. But I can't, like I said, when we get here, it has two possible paths here. It's either, you know, new highs or lower, right? It's one or the other. I'd be looking for something like this though. So if I was trading it, I would be waiting for this move, and this will probably erase divergence, which is like it's starting to do right now. It's starting to erase divergence. So it's getting panic setting in. People realize, oh shit, I chased it, I shouldn't have, and I screwed up, and I got to get out. It's the time to buy it was down here, right? But a lot of people, they buy it up here. I know it's sad because they expect it just keeps going, you know, but in that market it can be brutal. But I do think the overall structure looks really good. Like on a big picture, zoom out, higher high, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's a good one. It's a good one, right? Right, it could do that. Do that. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see on where this one ends up. Okay. LSE. Let's take a look at that. LSE on Anglo-American. I'm not sure what the hell Anglo-American PLC. Let me see what that is. London. All right. London. All right, London Stock Exchange. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm not. There's London Stock, but they have all these other symbols and here and you have. I just not seeing it. So what we're just gonna have to do is use this one. You'll just have to figure it out. The chart would be the same. I can't. I'm looking at it. I just can't find the exchange you're looking for. But anyway, you'll figure it out. LSE. All right. It have the same. It should have the same picture, right? Basically, looks like a flat on a grand super cycle degree that finished up down here, right? And then you're coming out off of this low. Maybe that's the low right there. Yeah, that's the low. So then you have something like, looks like to me another flat, and then you're coming out, and then out of here you have your 5 waves. It's about to correct this whole cycle, right? You see that? It's coming right up, which means it could either be 5 up from here, which is was my first reaction to something like this, which would bring you back down to 516. Or it could be the more bullish 1 1 2 1 2 1 2. I think we'll just label it this way for now, off of this low, and bring it back down, then out. Something like that. There's your connector. So that gets you to 492. So that's where that's what I'd be looking for. That's the ideal area, but it could truncate a little bit because that's pretty deep correction, but somewhere in there. But it's likely, I'm going to expand it. It's probably likely somewhere more like in that box. Something like that. And then you can come out of this. That's what I'm thinking right now, something like that. If that doesn't happen and we just turn hard from here, then it's the more bullish 1 2 1 2 1 2 setup, and it's literally just going to go vertical like you saw, like here and here. So bigger picture, you know, it's like a coiled spring. Okay. All right. LSE. All right. Let me see. Oh, you think that person meant Anglo-American PLC AAL? Okay. All right. Well, anyway, hey guys, so we got a free symbol. Looks okay. It looks like your typical energy stock. All right. Let's go to I'll try that AAL. Anglo-American, this one. Okay, let's try that out. Looks like some kind of 1 2 1 2 setup here. See with the divergence. So something like that. So it's probably in some kind of 1 2, right? And then another 1 2 off of that low. Right, so you have your 3 waves, so I think it's got to hold this pivot. This pivot has to hold at 1797. You only have 3 up, 3 down. You don't have 5 up off that pivot, so this could also double correct. Right, it could turn into a WXY and break that low. I think that's what I'm going to forecast. And where can we see it find support? Let's take a look. 610 would be the worst case scenario, down all the way down here. It's likely to truncate because it's pretty deep. But this is the extreme target, I guess the extreme area. There's another way to get to target. I've seen the market follow, and this is the other way where you kind of do something like this, and that'd be at 1414. So I'm going to bring the box back up. So it's somewhere in that area would be the low. Wherever you can race divergence would be the bottom. You have 1 2 3, 1 2 3, a connector. You need 1 2 3. So my guess is you're probably somewhere around here. But I think you're going to break these lows and have more downside. I think that's going to happen. But bigger picture, it should come out of this pattern. All right. Vail and WTI. All right, let's take a look at that. Vail looks like it hit our box and it's pulling back. Looks like we got that 5 up, 3 back, and any moment this you know, I don't know if I had that box here or not, what that was for. I don't remember, but basically there. So Friday was a buy. Between the 4 and the 2, it hit the sweet spot. Technically, it can't get any better. It can't get any better. So if you're not pulling the trigger here, you gotta have a little more courage, because if you, or conviction, because I don't know of a better setup that looks like this, and I don't even know what these guys do. What the hell do these guys do? Are they like a mineral company or something? Iron ore, manganese, energy, coal. So it's like, yeah, it's like that type. Yeah, that's in vogue. That's in vogue. That's gonna. So we saw on Friday a lot of silver miners were dipped by opportunities, I think, and this kind of maybe he's trading with those guys. I don't know, but here it is. There's a setup there, and we'll keep an eye on that one. I'm gonna keep an eye on that one. It's a good setup. All right, WTI. I assume are you talking crude oil? Crude oil futures. I think I'll go to the oil, my oil, and you can put in the comments if that's what you're looking for. But like oil, I have it in off of the low of 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 hit a box off of 3. I came up in 5 and it pulled back. Here, it could still do a little bit of a dip back down to 71, but I still expect it to continue to grind higher. So we're in this correction. I wouldn't be surprised to see this 2 happen. This 2 happen while we're in this, I guess, 2-week pause. 70, so that'll be 71, 70. So maybe there's a long oil opportunity here, around there, if that were to pull back a little bit more early next week. Doesn't have to. Could be finished. Oh, Brazilian exploration. Okay. All right. Good. All right. All right. So that's WTI. So there's a buy setup here for WTI right there. All right. Xterra again. Strabag. Looks like we've looked at that before. Let's see how it's trending here. Well, it's been a long time. Last time we looked at it was probably down in early January 25. But as you could see, we expected the continuation higher. We got that. Now where are we? Probably something like that. But see, that's too deep. That looks too deep, and so we need to check our size out. Well, we still have divergence. That would be the 3 of 5. So yeah, no, it's right. What a massive extended 5th wave. So when this thing finishes, very dangerous. It's going to be a catastrophe for traders. It's going to be a catastrophe. Let me see here on the weekly here. Yeah. Now see the monthly, you see how the monthly took out divergence? Interesting. Yeah, I think because of the monthly taking out divergence, we'll update this. We're gonna have to update this a little bit. Damn, what does this thing do? Why are people panic buying it? The hell, man. All right, well, we'll fix it. We'll extend it because it looks like to me we've got an extension off of this. Off of this, it's not a 5. So we'll probably put this 3 here. So more upside. So not a catastrophe just yet, but there'll be now. I think you'll get the more of these this pullback happening. So if I can try to draw this out a little bit for you, something like this, right? Like that, you know, something like this. So I think you'll get something like this, you know, play out. So you got this pullback. Looks like you have a connector wave with a lower low. So we can have an area where we could target the 4. And that's at the 67.5, 64.6. So there'll be a bounce play by opportunity here for 4. Now it is a higher degree, so you always have to respect the double correction. There's always a risk of a double correction. Double correction could turn into something like this and go lower and still be 4. But we'll leave it for now. And your question is the top in? I say no, the top is not in. How much downside and potential rebound afterwards? So I think this is the most optimistic downside here. It could go back to retest this, which you'll get more of like a head and shoulders top. This would be more of like an end and diagonal top. So I can't predict where that's going to head. I would just say that from here it could probably, if most optimistic, that would get you to about 100, and maybe it could get to like 110, 112 when it's all said and done. And then if it can get, again, it could always keep a risk and divergence, but I doubt it. I mean, it's already so pumped. I don't think there's any buyers left to buy it to do that. So let's say you get up to here, and then typically it pulls back to the wave 4 cluster. So that's why sometimes this may double correct, but somewhere in this is typically when this is over, this more than likely will come back somewhere down here to like 50. Usually that's the typical pattern, right? I'm giving you like what things usually do. There's always outliers. There's always outliers where it hits the 5 and goes all the way down. There's outliers, but I believe that's the most likely path. Something like that. So that's what I'd be looking for. More than likely, the easy money is over, right? If I happen to buy it down in these areas, I'd be ringing the register and trying to find my money to use it, somewhere else, right? Because I mean, how much are you? I mean, damn, you did it. You won. The house lost and you won. You went to the casino and the house is lost. So you want to leave and then take your money and try to find another one of these strab bags or whatever. But I can't tell you how to trade, but I think it's in a top-in pattern. It will be a tall order to take these peaks out, to extend it even more. Unlikely. Not impossible, unlikely. I'm curious to see what this is doing. Offshore wind. Environmental. Wow, I've never seen, that's crazy. It's an offshore, like, offshore energy and some other businesses too, construction, and build out in looks like Europe, throughout Europe, the Nordic area, even in Central Europe, engineering services too. Wow. Crazy. What a crazy investment. These guys. Even if you knew about them back here. I think you were asking me about these guys back here. Somebody was. All right. Good luck on that. Yeah, I've called the bottom in uranium. We're trying to like get a better pullback to get in on it. Or other people have already bought it, and I just told them to hold it. But yeah, uranium's bottomed. It's unlikely you're going to see the prices break the April lows ever again, possibly in your lifetime. Okay, let's take a look at XAU USD here. Let's take a look at that. And take a look at that. Yeah, we haven't covered gold, haven't covered gold here. Gold, want to see extension higher. We're in the parabolic phase of the blow off top, which could be, which you don't want to, leave it too soon. We're in like a 1 2 1 2 1 2 setup. You know, on our channel we had the buy area here, we had another buy area here. It just keeps grinding higher. We're looking for that separation. You know, this is an area where if it is a 5, it could pull back and find resistance. But if it's parabolic, it could erase divergence and really, really go, you know, sky's the limit. Use your imagination. So we don't want to like top ticket. But I do think the cycle is not over. Okay, it's not over. I actually need to update this chart on the different degrees here because it's extended. It's already erased divergence, right? It's erased divergence here. This is another 1 2. By the way, we had this buy on our channel here and here and here, so plenty of opportunity to go long for $5 a month. I mean, $5 a month. I think it was, this in itself probably paid for that fee. Although people still get angry about other things. It's funny, but I mean, gold has been doing well for our channel. But anyway, so as you can see, we're in some kind of 1 2 3. We'll put this 3 here. So if you look at the bigger picture, we have a lot of 4s and 5s to play out. Look, I don't even have space to put them all. So I don't think this is coming to an end anytime soon. Okay. And again, this is messy. I'll go to the longer term gold chart that we have. 1 2 1 2 1. You see, and we're coming out of the channel. Okay, you see this channel? I kind of drew a parallel channel, and now we're going to come out. Typically, when you come out of a parallel channel, usually that's when you get like a explosive parabolic move. An example was this channel way back in time. You know, you may not have even been born yet. We had a channel, and someone was probably saying the same thing, and we could be just like right now. We could be here. That could be us. And look what happened after you came out of the channel. Holy crap. We went from 261 to 875. So maybe, what's that like? Oh no, around 3 times or so, 300% from there. So that would get us probably about 10,000 an ounce, essentially straight up line. If it has the same personality as it did back in the 70s. And that would, and then it's like, all right, dump it, and then that's it. So that's why it's smart to be aggressive in the commodity. The commodities tend to like always end like that. Fear, it's almost like the opposite fear. The fear of the price going so high we need to buy it, right? That it's like in a crash, you're afraid, you sell it. Here it's like fear in reverse, short squeeze, and the fear, buyers fear of missing out, but fear of, because it's an actual commodity and hard good, people need it, people want it, and they're afraid they won't be able to get it, so they panic buy, and so that creates a different type of fear. I think right now you have fear of what central banks are been buying gold, government, China's been buying gold. That's a fear, the fear of whatever they're afraid of that's causing them to buy it. They're only going to get more afraid and buy even more. So something is alarming them to buy and panic buy this up. So they see something we don't in this financial system, just like what happened back here in the 70s and at the end of the 70s. So anyway, that's where we are right up here. I think we're going to break out of the channel, guys. I really do. I think a lot of people thought this was a slam dunk short, like a no-brainer short, and they're about to find, like I say, F around and find out. They're about to find out. This is a 1 2 1 2. This is a crash upward pattern. It's crash upward, not downward. Typically in crypto, when we see the big extreme wave 5 blow off tops, they always set up like this. Almost always the wave 5 will set up as a 1 2 1 2, like this structure, and then you get so it's following the same personality as a crypto pump would, same like look, and my guess is we're going to come out. And then you have silver in the shadows, quietly building out of its base. It's his historic cup and handle, right? A historic cup and handle, the largest that's probably ever been charted in modern history. Honestly, guys, it goes all the way back to 1979. It's a 50, was it like a 55-year cup and handle? Oh yeah, it's just gonna make it to 70. Yeah, right. No way. We're talking 300 an ounce or higher when this breaks. And it is gonna break. You already see the pressure building. Again, this was a money tree for banks and financial institutions to short it, but that day's over. The short traders are losing control of the silver market slowly. They're losing control. Now we have 5 up. We can pull back, of course. And I do think there'll be a final shakeout. It makes a lot of sense to me to do that because that's what the market does. And then out. But because I think right now there's some dumb money that chase silver. They saw what we're seeing and they're like, oh, it's just gonna do that. And it never does. So that's why I think we're gonna get a shakeout of the dumb money that chased it here. And it's gonna but I don't want to leave long. I have the bigger picture in mind. The path is clear now. The bear path is to me dead. There's no bear path in silver. That there was a possible bear path back in this area, but that path is over. It's not happening. And we were fighting, as you see all the boxes, we were fighting the market to you know, and then our group did get long around 32. There were opportunities, if you follow me over the years, to be long down at 18, down at 20. A lot of people that follow me, we would load from 20 to 32, got out, then got back in around same price we got out at. There was still a bear path here, because we still had 3 and 3. So there was a path where if this low in August 24 broke, it could have come back down to 18. So you had to respect that, right? Again, if you bought it here, you didn't want to lose all your money trading. So, but we waited. Now then we saw the higher high. So then we knew, okay, that's not happening. Now we can get more confident in the upside potential of silver. But anyway, there's silver, there's gold. We'll just label it the way it is, and we'll see what happens. Another Xterra. Let's take a look at that. Xterra. Let's see here. Looks like you got kind of like 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, big extended 5th wave. You lost to 5, and you're between the sweet spot. So technically, you know, I like what I see here. Right? Right? We like what we see here. It's just so this is some kind of crash correction. You see, it's already ended the cycle. So this lows in. I don't have to do the count. I don't have time to do the count, but the low's in. And look, you made a higher high. Look at that little. So yeah, you have more upside. It's in extension mode. How it plays out is going to be tricky. If I just label it the classic Elliott wave way, I would have a 1, 2 here, and then that would be a 1 right there. And now you're pulling back in 2. So you may have an opportunity for a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup, which gives you some nice gains right there. I would be looking for a long opportunity, right? And then there's your 3-wave swing. Right down to like 1345, 1328. Right at the wave 4. What a beautiful setup with a higher high at your back. It doesn't get any better than that. What do these guys do? Let's take a look at what these guys do. A strong buy. Even I guess TradingView knows to buy it. Semiconductor, some kind of semiconductor play. All right, cool. Some kind of German semiconductor coming out of the ashes, and people are like, "Oh my God, these guys are going to do great." Wow, what a great! Again, I don't know if they're on the U.S. exchange. What is this company? Axatron. I don't know if they have an ADR or not. Let's take a look. Ax. Do they have an ADR? I don't see one. That's no big deal. You guys probably figure out how to buy it on the foreign exchange if you want to. But yeah, I don't see ADR, so it looks like you gotta buy it on one of those exchanges. But anyway, hey, good. I'll still keep an eye on it. This is good, guys. This is a good one. For my system, using my system, this is a great setup. It's a great setup. I would be careful too. Like I wouldn't, like I said, we have this box. Even if it goes a little deeper, it could, and just kind of pierce it. I would still not want to be kind of shaken out, because the setup's pretty good. So if you're really a bullish, you just put your stop at the 1161 and expand the box, and just understand like the bigger picture and your risk management better. But you can decide how you want to trade it. All right. Let's take a look at some more. Yeah, we got that. Yeah, uranium. I do go through uranium for the elite members. Typically, I don't talk about it if we don't get like much action, other than we are seeing a pullback develop, right? And so hopefully an opportunity should emerge. All right, Trey. Let's go to QNTM. Quantum Biopharma. So you have a quantum biostock. What the hell? Yeah, we wish we knew about that a month ago. I would have bought that. That's a weird theme. So we just gonna have to go low from the from the low, right? We just aren't gonna worry about we know we're bullish from the low here, right? I mean, it looks like 3 swings to me off this low, so we'll just kind of label what we have. I mean, it looks like it's probably finished this 3-swing move. Although, see how we didn't take that peek out? So more than likely, it probably finished 3 here, but that Y is going to keep going. So I think for now you just kind of look. I'll be looking for a pullback in W and more upside. So we need a pullback. I think you're starting to get that. So maybe it can come back down to 23. I would like to. This needs to develop more, but I believe you're starting your pullback. But it's another opportunity to buy. I would think for more upside, something like that. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what the hell these guys do, but good luck on that chart. And then QNS. I'm not seeing it. So Trey, if you can put in the comments which one of these. Is it this one? Is it that one? Is it that? I don't. Not, it's not coming up. So, all right. I'll come back to it once I see that comment. All right. EL. Estee Lauder. Oh, GNS. Okay. Did I read it wrong? Oh, it's just typo. Okay. I'll go back to GNS. There it is. Yeah, it looks like we've done that one before. One, two. So probably just kind of off by a swing there. So it obviously it's finished 5 here, right? It finished 5. And now it's coming out. My guess is it's not finished. That's not a strong enough bounce. It looks like you have 5 up off that low here too. So I'd be looking for an ABC correction. That's the typical, something like this is kind of what I'd be looking for. How it plays out. Now that would be an ABC if it plays out as a WXY. Then this 4 will go deeper. It could turn, but I would be looking for something like this. Because it should be correcting the whole thing, right? It should be correcting this whole move. So that we would want, we need a bigger bounce. So I would just kind of just continue to accumulate in this area. As long as you're above this low, I would be accumulating slowly for a much bigger move in the future. Okay. That's what I would do. All right, EL. Let's take a look here. So we're looking for this wave 2. Let's just take a look. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Yeah, maybe it may be in a broader 2. Let's take a look. Yeah. So this is only 3 down, so it's playing the flat game. But then if you look at the bigger picture, it would probably correct that whole cycle, which is doing with divergence. So we're gonna have to update the label, so it's a little bit different. So we're looking at like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swings down. So just a little different look to it. Yeah, so a different look, but that's okay. So then it's correcting. So 2 comes later, but now you got to correct this whole thing. So this will grind higher for a long time, more than likely. But it's gonna break the hearts of investors because likely when it ends, it will come back and break the lows later. It's probably gonna do something like this now. I think the safest thing to do is we'll just put the low in here. Let me look at this wave count though. Yeah, I just don't like it. We have to put it here. So we're just gonna have to label it this way. Again, I don't know how high it's gonna go, but as long as it's above this low, I think it's you just wanna it's in like a new mini bull market, a tradable bull, for a period of time. Yep. Something like that. So that's what it is. Looks like gonna have some more upside coming as it comes off of this low. And like I said, it's like a mini bull market, but I would say that it's a very suspicious bull because of the 5 waves down, and a correction can't end in 5 waves down. unless it's a flat, and it just does not have a look of a flat at this peak. The way this peaked out does not look that way. I would have to force the label, not to say I can't. And then also the bottom doesn't look like it either. So more than likely it's some kind of connector wave that, I mean, in theory could come back up to 153. So I think safe to say probably here, and then the next leg lower should happen later. Something like that. I can't rule out a truncation, but I mean, obviously breaking this low would be catastrophic for the company's stock technical picture. But I'd be looking for something like this now. So it's just kind of morphed into this structure. I mean, if you wanted to, you could try to buy it and just hold, but you're holding above 48, so that's a big delta there. Or maybe you could hold above 67 and just see how high it can take you. But anyway, good luck on that. Okay, a couple more here. SPWH. Looks like we've done that one before as well. All right, looks like we did come out of the correction, and now we're in a new cycle higher, right? It looks like clearly like a wave 3, right? That's exactly what that looks like to me. Something like that. So more likely that's a connector. So wave 4 could come back down to 316, 299, and then more than likely it will find buyers for a 5. Right? Again, and it could erase divergence and keep going, then it could pull back and keep going. If it were to break 271, then likely it could be corrective, and then these lows are in jeopardy of breaking again. So, I think for the most part, let's look at the bigger picture. Odds are it's going to hold that low. Okay, something like that. Something like that. All right, LPSN. So if you had that 3, 5, or flat, only 3. Real tricky here. I'm just going to label what I see in front of me. It has a lot of options. Has a lot of options, but something like this. So Friday was the day to go long this for so is this going to make a massive move on Monday to the upside? We'll find out. I guess we'll know Monday. If it were to break down from here and break this low, then it's something else. I think then it's in jeopardy of breaking, the whole structure falling apart. So kind of like at the do or die moment here. Do or die moment. Kind of like at a do or die moment here. So good luck. I still think it's going to come out higher. All right, anonymous. So guys, with Solana, just keep an eye on it. Solana could be a buy down here. Let's take a look. Yeah, 5 up and a connector. Like 124, 124. So it could be more downside in crypto, right? Especially if Bitcoin wants to finish this move lower down to this area here. We'll know soon enough. And then if that, but those are long opportunities for trades here. So just think about the big picture. Okay, now the 2x Solana ETF would be basically what you would want to do. I mean, if I was trading it, I would wait to when we're in this area, this 120, honestly, like anywhere around 128 or, ideally 124, and then just buy what you're talking about. As long as, again, you have to have your stop at 94, but I think this is playing out here. And maybe this will finish out this weekend. Okay. And then you'll get this big push higher. And then after that, we don't know, right? Either it's new lows or a small pullback and it's off to the races. Alt season. We don't know. But I think it's highly likely you're going to get another swing higher. Another swing higher. So this pullback is going to generate opportunity. Looking at this chart, again, you have a connector here, 1, 2, 3, and it failed. So we can try to project a target too, using our system, which has worked on these, here. So that's $10, right in this area here. That looks like only 3 up. I mean, maybe I could force it in 5. 1, 2, 1, 2 even. I don't know. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe it's a flat off of this peak, and then it's like a 1 is here, and it's an A, B, C. But anyway, I'll just draw this box. Ideal would be 10, or you time it with the Solana I showed you price earlier. But I suspect we're going to get another swing higher. All right, and then Cisco. I still have it in this fifth wave of a fifth wave. So you have the divergence here and here. That's your 3 of 5. This is your 5 of 5. Daily, same look. Your 3, your 3, your 4. Now, you're probably extending a little bit more. Okay, so this is the right count based on my system. And I believe this is probably something like 1, 2, something like that. And then I should get a big pullback, or it erases divergence and extends, which you can always do. So it's gonna be a tough call. It depends again what your goals are, your whole, like how you're trading it. Because if this finishes here, you're correcting the whole thing all the way back since the dot-com bubble, all the way back down, all the way back there. So that would produce a correction somewhere back down to this cluster of 34, 35 over a period of a couple years of consolidation. It would be a false breakout. It would be a false breakout of this cup and handle, which would create a really big panic for market participants. That's what this is saying will turn into. However, there is a possibility, it's a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? 1, 2, and we find support right at 54. And then it's off to the races in a massive wave 3. So either way, I think we're going to pull back. I think unlikely path is it just goes, up to the. I think likely path is a pullback, and it's either going to come back, right, test that breakout, and then it's gone vertical in wave 3 of the grand supercycle, or it's going to be a breakdown failure, and you're going to come back down to that 36 area. But then either way, no matter what happens, you come out. So I think I think you know, like I said, like if I'm forecasting the weather, you have a storm coming. I just don't know, is it going to be like a storm or a hurricane? But at the end, the storm passes, and it should be okay, right? So good luck on that. I think you just got to be careful, because it looks like to me it could be at the end of a major cycle here. It's just you know, we just don't know how and when this is going to happen. I mean, it can even be finished here. We don't. So it's either finished there, or it's in one and you get two and you get a little bit more like that. I can't rule that out either. Something like that. Just tough, tough one. I know a lot of people I know out there missed some of these, and they're chasing this now, and it's just not the right time to be chasing this stuff. Unfortunately, there should be a better opportunity in the future to buy these again. Should be. But anyway, good luck on that. How's Intel doing? Intel's been just kind of like, you know, a lot of people are just not want to give up on it, right? It's probably, I've never seen so many people optimistic here about them. Typically, when stocks at a major low, people don't want nothing to do with them. But I can't tell you, so many shows and stuff I watch are like buy Intel, buy in, like. So that gives me the sign it can go lower to this. This is our final area. And again, if I'm just charting the wave, every time we had this excitement, it's failed. Excitement, it's failed. Excitement, it's failed. Every time. So I don't know why this wouldn't be any different. But this is the count. And again, let's take a look. Looks very much like a 5-wave move down here with a 3-wave move up. So I'm just going to go with this count. You know, let's take a look here. I don't know. You see that? Divergence erased? Interesting. Yeah. Take that back. I think we're in something a little different. In something a little different then. Because you have 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, all these threes. So are we in a triangle in B? Let's just kind of take a step back and think about this. We have 3 and 3. No, not with that low breaking like it did. I mean, or are we still in B? Only 3 up though, not 5 there. Let me see. Yeah. Tough one. This is a tough chart. Let me look at a couple more things here. This I think I'm going to label it this way. And then we're still in 2. And 2 comes up a little bit more, but stays below 26.39. Something like that. That's what I'd be looking for. Something like that. I don't like to trade it though. I just don't like to trade it. I think this is something like this is what I'm thinking. Okay. All right, Dylan. FSAGX. Looks like some kind of 1, 2. Let's go. it's interesting because you have the peak here, but you reset the whole thing on that pullback. All right, well, we'll have to just label it this way. I think see, that looks like 5 down. I wonder if it's a flat off of this peak. I bet that's what it is. Right, and then a lot of 1-2s here. Yep, probably ready to finish up 3. So it should continue to just grind higher in the series of 4s and 5s. Something like this. I wouldn't want to sell it, but I don't. I think you have to manage your expectations on the upside in where you are in the cycle, right? Maybe something like this takes place, and then another dramatic pullback. You know, so I think that's kind of what I would be thinking about, you know, if I was kind of thinking through this. So if I was in this as an investment, I'd just not really worry too much about it for now. I mean, it will pull back. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's going to pull back, but it should you should see more upside. Right, it should see 63, 60. So in the future. So I think you're just gonna have to you know, this is one you just kind of hold it, you know. Looks like some kind of investment vehicle from Fidelity. Right. Something like that. All right, good luck on that. All right, let's take a look at SILJ. SILJ, the miners pulled back a little bit here. Here, off of the low, we have 5 and an ABC running flat with a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. We got the big 3 breakout that everybody, you know, dreams about, and I think this has got years of upside ahead of it. Just again, I'm just trading what I see in front of me, you know, what the chart is telling me. We have this 4 and 5 here. This can easily be another 1-2, 1-2, or something else, because we're so early in the cycle. I think a lot of these were buys on Friday on this like 3-wave little shakeout. Still could have more downside, a little bit more. Looking at this here, some of the individual miners have already hit their boxes, but maybe this needs to, like, I guess, fill a gap or something here. So it should continue higher for now. Again, in a series of 4s and 5s. Slowly, eventually, giving birth to a new bull market. Again, big picture, as you can see. And what happens after this 5, this will probably be a violent shakeout. and then this wave will be the wave in the future that people get rich on the silver and the miners and stuff, the miners. But as you can see, if you look at the big picture, you know, it could fully round trip, right? So if your time horizon is years, you're just kind of going to accumulate these fours as they come in. You just accumulate, expect a big two, accumulate, and then 28, 29, you're getting paid, and you're just sitting back, and you were able to kind of accumulate, because the direction and path to me is clear. But if you're a trader, it's going to be tricky to trade this. But I do think you have a trade set up here, right here, just like that. All right. All right. USAR. Rare earth. All right. USA rare earth. All right. Some kind of flat here, and then you come out, and looks like 3 waves. Down in 3, up in 3. I hate these kind of patterns, man. Only because they're so, it's like such an indecisive like setup. So you know, again, like you have like a 3, right, and then some kind of 3. Now this tells me we should go higher with this higher high setup. Yeah, so we should go higher. All right, so I think the short-term direction to me is pretty clear. But then after that, it's kind of fuzzy. That B could be done here already at 1172, but if it does break this pivot, you could have a setup to go long. At 1036, 958, somewhere in there. I think you get another swing higher at least, or if you're lucky, it extends into a new bull market. Probably got some kind of breakdown here on the shorter time frame. Right, something like this. And then you can come out. What is this, some kind of ETF or something for rare earth metals, or oh, it's an actual company? Interesting. Yeah, this one wasn't doing as well as MP, right? We have MP, but more than likely domestic rare earth miners are going to get they're going to do okay in the future, because I think the US knows we got to build that capacity out and build that out. Yeah, it'd be a good setup potentially to come out of this. At least one more. I bet we get and then if we're lucky, it turns into something different, right? And we can extend it out. All right. So good. All right. Thanks again. CEG. Constellation Energy. Yeah, that's one we've looked at before. Looks like it's continuing to extend. F5 extend it. Well, let's take another look at it. Yeah, we have 5 waves up, massive extended 5th wave. So that's what kind of surprised us. Typically, you don't get that kind of extended 5th wave, but we did. And now it's pulling back. So it's tricky because you have this big 5, you have this 3 wave up. Now, if you can come back and take out this high, then this negated this chart. It's actually something completely different. But again, if I just look at the big picture, I would be concerned. So I think once you break 286.41, you'll get definition of whether you're going to get something like this or a smaller pullback. So I think the way to trade this is be on the sidelines here. Wait, if you can get this pullback to 257.90, you can either play for the fifth wave, where there's some kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it will just blow through the box to the downside, and then you know you're in a 3, and then you have this play out, right? So it's either that, like I have here, or it's something like this, right? And then you make another high, you come up, right? And then you have your 5 waves, and then you pull back again, and then you come out of that, right, to the new cycle higher. So, but as you can see, either way, you got like some kind of consolidation like happening. I look at this as 5 down, 3 up, and yeah, I mean that's how I look at it. Let me see if I'm missing anything here. Yeah, let me label this again. Sorry, I didn't. For some reason I didn't have it labeled properly. Yeah, sorry about that. It didn't have the right label. I just noticed the mistake here. Something like that. Sorry about that. Yeah. Sometimes I do too many of these charts and I miss something like that. But I caught it here. This is the chart. This is what we want to do. All right. That bounce. So a couple things. So it's either going to do something like this, like I said, like that, or it's going to find support here and extend. And so I think the key is the break 342.43 if it's going to do it. So this would be the area. It's going to happen right in here. Yeah, I'd be concerned. I don't know. It's tough. This is a tough call. I think with a shorter cycle, you only have 3 up. If you can even come back and take out 314 here, 314, then you have 5 up, and possibly the bear case is negated. But I think, again, looking at it, I'd be looking for something like this right now. And then just wait in and see when this happens, where does it go from there, right? What happens here? This is going to be the key question. Either you'll stop out, go through that, and then it turns into Y, or it could come out of this, and this is really like a 1-2, and you're out. And then this was something else, maybe a big flat off of this peak. Yeah, I wish it was clearer. This one's a tricky chart. I do see a lower low. I see 3 waves here. I see divergence on those waves. So I think I'm just going to go with this count. You'll have to decide how you want to trade it. Personally, if I was looking at it, I would just go trade something else. I wouldn't trade a chart like this. I would just go on the sidelines, and I wouldn't bother with this. And maybe if it was trading down here, I would, yeah, let's give it a long and see if I can get a reaction, trade a reaction out of this box if it were to do that, regardless of the count. So, oh, I forgot MIGI. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's go back to do that. Okay, it's in our box. It's in our box off of 3 waves down. You have an elbow up. You have the 4-hour turning higher. Looks like the 4-hour cycle ended, and the daily's about to do the same. The weekly is kind of a little scary. So a couple things. So just looking at the 3-wave move down, it could do something like this, right? Get a reaction, and then make another swing lower like that as the weekly takes over. So just be careful, but I think you're going to get a reaction out of this box at any moment. even made a higher high. Like again, this is very looks somewhat a liquid, but that's how I would label it right now if I was labeling it. Right, something like that. All right, something like that. I think you just I think it could bottom at any moment, and you'll come out of this pattern. What you hope to see is this, but I can't rule out a more extended B. A more extended B. We can't rule that out either. But we'll just leave it like this for now. PPLT Platinum was another one that I guess I gave you guys kind of like the you know, the 8th grade way of trading platinum. Right, we talked about platinum here, right? And again, on my live streams, if you listen to them, right, I couldn't make platinum any easier to trade for you guys, right? We saw this massive triangle, right? And I said, when this breaks, if it breaks out, huge move. If it breaks down, huge move. And guess what? It broke out. The day it broke out, I told you guys, it broke out, guys. It broke out, and it cinched, went vertical. And it could keep going vertical, the personality of platinum. The problem is it can erase divergence and keep extending. But right now, platinum on the shorter cycle does appear to have 5 waves up, and this would be a 3. So we may have some consolidation coming. Now, that's the classical Elliott wave view, right, of it. But as you know, it could keep extending. But this is where what I have labeled right now. All right, so PPLT just mirrors the same thing. Before I go there, if you look at the bigger picture too, I think we are retesting this. You know, this would be an area of resistance, right? A confluence of resistance of lines, you know, right? This 1360, 1370 area, a lot of resistance. So of course the first tap of that will be rejected, right? Well, it'd be a miracle to get through that on the first time. But once you flip that, then it should be all-time highs and higher. So use this pullback that could emerge as an opportunity to go long if you missed the move. Okay, if this happens, and it may already be happening, right? This may be the 4 right there, and if it is, then I can project an area where it could bounce, right? And that'd be at 1227, 1205 in this area, and either it finishes up this 4 here, or it bounces and has another swing lower, which could easily happen since it's a higher degree correction. So we don't know, but I do like to go long. If you missed the move, this is the opportunity to go long. So PPLT, again, it should mirror the same thing, right? So you have a pullback, there's your connector, you're about to break it. So we can project that next area. Like 110.25, 108.81. Yeah, it must have not been around for a while, this ETF, but we can just label it from here. One, two, yeah, 3, 4, 5. Something like this. As you can see, it's got a lot of 4s and 5s to play out. So again, shows that it will continue to grind higher. And then, yeah, bigger picture, you have even another one, right? This consolidation should be, again, this is a lot of resistance probably for it, just like it was on the metal itself. And it's going to have to get through that. There's even more resistance up at 138. A lot of resistance here too, even more, maybe more than it is now here. So it's got to punch through these two levels, and once it could do that and flip it to support, then it should be clear blue skies from there. But I think to get there, it's going to be, not, it's sellers are going to be there. People are going to be, shorting it, trying to, do that, and there'll be sell-offs. And I think the path is clear, and I think you just use these sell-offs as buying opportunities. With something like that, and just could grind higher. Okay, good luck. Let's see here if there's anything else I got here. I've been asked about this one for a few people. I'll just show it. I haven't looked at it in a while. Moved. I mean, guys, look, we had it on the buy area, this AOI. I mean, you can't get any better than this. Look, we had to buy at 980. It's $23. So there's really nothing to analyze. Just if you hold long, you should be very happy, right? And it should continue higher, right? So somebody asked me about this on my channel before. I don't know who, but hopefully whoever asked me had a really happy day. I had a happy day on this, but we've had this. Yeah, just want to. I gotta clean up my symbols. Guys that are the real Elliott Wave practitioners, they always like correct me, because they view it as holy scripture, and sometimes I make a mistake here and there, but it should be ABCs here, not WXYs. So I'll fix that real quick. We'll fix that real quick. But anyway, all right, something like that. Yeah, it's good. There you go. Keep going. Keep pumping. Keep pumping. But we do have a breakout. So if it were to pull back, buy an opportunity in 3 waves. The path is clear higher. I don't know, like they must have gave some happy talk or something with their company now that everybody wants it. Okay, looks like let's see if I got everybody's questions answered. Just kind of go back through the comments, guys. I appreciate everyone watching my live stream today. So I think that's it. I'll wrap it up. And what I'll say for the market, what to expect. Obviously there's a lot of news. We don't care what the news really is. We knew when this pullback came, something would happen to drive that selling. We know what that is now. It's this Iran situation. And again, what will drive the unthinkable would be obviously probably something goes wrong in the Middle East. That's what I'm suspecting, or some other way out of left field black swan comes out. Like a firing of Jay Powell, or whether he can do it or not. I mean, I don't know, or something, some other black swan. They're even like chatter about arrests coming for Doge arrests for politicians and agency heads, but that could shake things up. There's even chatter about looking back in the 2020 elections, and so there's so many things. There's the debt ceiling, there's the tax bill, there's the tariff situation where I think that Japan wasn't able to come to an agreement, so that's just still out there. So you got all that noise. So there's plenty of catalysts to drive this type of reaction, but I want to see this pullback and then see where we go from there on the markets. And then Bitcoin, watch crypto. Bitcoin's in a tricky spot. It can make that final little dump lower. Solana kind of shows that that's going to happen for another swing higher. But I still can't rule out this is some kind of elaborate 3 swings and we go higher from here. I don't like to trade Bitcoin, but I do think crypto needs another swing higher. I think Ethereum is key for us to get this next wave. And again, we've had this box here that I call it the dump area. If it were to do that kind of shakeout dump, I think this would be an opportunity to long it for C. or it could be in a sideways move off of some kind of flat here, develop in, and then get C. But I think because again with the higher high, remember we saw this in Indo, eventually it pulls out of that and you get this kind of like final squeeze. So I do think this is going to happen. It's just what happens after this is going to be the tricky part, right? Does it make a 4 and a 5, or does it go to new lows? And I think that's going to be driven by what Bitcoin does after it makes its high, and either we top and B and we come back and make new lows, or it fools all of us and it's some kind of like 1 2 1 2 1 2, and it goes off to the targets people are dreaming about. So and then the bottom's actually in. So we'll find out. But I don't think I think Bitcoin and crypto have this final swing higher that needs to happen based on multiple structures and where they are trading right now. And then oil, I think, continues to grind higher. Gold and grind higher. Silver grind higher with I think a shakeout type play and then out. And most commodities are pulling out, with oil, the king of commodities, pulling out as well. All right, guys, that's all I have today. Appreciate it, and that's it. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it's an uneventful weekend with geopolitical events, but you never know. So we'll keep in touch, and if I need to do another update, I'll do that later for my members, and I do my weekend